Hello and welcome to Kiska brand Bajega Marketing All Stars. Here, we dive deep into the world of branding and marketing while chatting with the sharpest leaders from the business world. Let's begin this episode with our very first segment, the Legacy Lounge.
Glow and Lovely, that's one product that we see almost all around us, from a legacy brand that has been in India since the 70s. This is a brand that has not only seen culture changing, but has also been at the forefront of changing with the times, with the culture. Please welcome the Global Brand Manager for Glow and Lovely, Rajat Garg, with us. You've had 7 years in one of the biggest brands in India, especially when it comes to the category like, taking care of yourself, skincare, be it skincare, overall, personal care and all. How has your experience been? How has your role evolved? And how has the brand evolved as you've seen?
Beauty across the world is a very fragmented category. And nowhere in the world is there a brand which has held such amazing market share for years and years. Yeah, even today, when the Indian market is becoming more and more fragmented, it is the biggest brand by a large shot. We are almost a 40% share. 7 out of 10 Indian women have Glow and Lovely in their households. And 6 out of 10 come back and buy the product again. There's no other brand in the world which does that. Why this is so is because the product is steeped into science in terms of how the product is formulated from day one. And whenever I speak to someone and they ask me, what does Glow and Lovely really do? I say, see, when you look at the under skin of your arm, this is your original skin color. It's because when you're exposed to so much aggressors in the environment, heat, sun, pollution, that you have melanin production which makes your skin darker. What Glow and Lovely does is that it helps you come back to your original skin tone. And that is the science behind the product which consumers love. And only when you have such scientifically sound formulations on the product can you be a world's #1 face brightening brand for years and years. And that's what Glow and Lovely is.
So when we talk about India, right, culturally, this is the country that's been looking for a comparatively better complexion, right? But that is, again, something that's changing. We've moved from talking complexion first to more in terms of internal beauty standards and empowerment, etc., right? So what you wanted to know is, one is, what is your and HUL's take on this?
I think your insight is spot on. The consumer, while they want to look at their best at every instance in their life, at that same time, they also want to be empowered. They also want to set higher beauty standards for themselves. Glow and Lovely, if you really look at our communication from the past, and if you look at the journey of the communication, has always been outspoken brand who talks about the undercurrents of the Indian girl. Yeah, if I was to give you some examples, when the norm in Indian society was for the families to choose a groom for a girl, Glow and Lovely talked about choice for women.
Right.
When the norm was for arranged marriages, Glow and Lovely talked about love. When the norm was for women to stop working after they get married or have kids, Glow and Lovely talked about pro-career. And, in the last few years, where society has normalized there being different standards for boys and girls in the family, Glow and Lovely has been talking about equality.
So which brings me to a second part of the same question, which is, then do we say Glow and Lovely is with the curve or ahead of the
Ahead of the curve always.
See, as we get into 2024, right, competition is more and bigger than ever, right? Be it the number of brands that we have or the diversity. You now have your Korean skincare coming up. Ayurveda has been here for a while. You have smaller boutique skincare products coming up. Sustainable is another buzzword that's being run, right? And you obviously have brands that are owned by celebrities. The road ahead for Glow and Lovely looks a little bit more competitive for us. How are you and how is Glow and Lovely looking at owning 2024?
I think we are very clear. Glow and Lovely have a distinct proposition which it has strayed to for 50 years. Right. It's worked for the brand and we will stay true to that. We are the market leaders in the brightness segment. The consumers associate Glow and Lovely with brightness. So there's no point in leaving that core proposition to go after new trends. What we do need to do, now with the changing weather patterns, in northern India and southern India are not behaving the same. They are more and more further apart in terms of their heat and humidity levels through the year. And as the consumer is also becoming more and more evolved, we need to start finding the right sensories, the right products, start innovating with the new product formulations while remaining true to brightness as the core proposition. A lot of times when you would have heard our erstwhile MD, Sanjeev Mehta, talk about the business and the strategy, he would talk about WIMI, winning in many Indias. What we need to do now is take WIMI to heart and create the right product formulation for the right consumer in the right geography for the right demographic. And an example of this is that in November 23, we launched a new product called the Powder Finish Creme. The insight was that the Southern Indian consumer uses body talc on face to help absorb the extra oil and sweat that comes on the face more often in the southern heat and humidity. We said if this is a consumer problem to solve, who else to do it than Glow and Lovely, yeah? And we launched the Powder Finish Creme, a slightly premium product to our core. And the concept was that it gives you mattifying brightness and gives you 24-hour oil control wherever you apply it. Now, again, the core to success that we believe to be behind the brand is product superiority. So we created and crafted a product which works. We've put it into the market. Hopefully the consumer will adopt it. And that will be the new future core for Southern consumers.
Like you said, right, we were talking about how Glow and Lovely has been taking care of innovations, how for Southern market, we have a different kind of a product that we're talking about right now. So one part is the product, where you talk about how product is getting its innovations, because that is something that people want and people love and people relate to. The other part is storytelling in terms of, or innovations in terms of storytelling, innovations in terms of advertising. So what is 2024 and the future for Glow and Lovely in terms of innovations in storytelling and overall branding?
So, at the cost of being repetitive, I think we've been always ahead of the curve in our storytelling. We hope to remain and keep doing the same. And the current theme that we are running behind on the brand is the stepping out girl. Now, who is this stepping out girl? We call her by two adjectives. She's an ambitious asserter. Yeah. She's someone who's no longer willing to just sit at the table. She's someone who wants to win and succeed at what she does, no matter what that profession is. The journey that the brand's going to play in this trajectory of her life is that they're going to help her be ready for it. Yeah. The brand tagline as we are going after it today is "Main hoon tayar," I am ready. Yeah. And our belief is that if you can help someone feel ready, you can help them feel that they're ready to face the world, ready to face anything in life, it helps them, take up their self-belief. And what that does is that it further allows them to succeed or believe in their own abilities to succeed. And that's where the brand comes in and plays a part.
What is Glow and Lovely's definition of inclusivity as a brand?
For us, every Indian girl is a gal girl. Yeah. And skin tone, how we portray skin tone in our films is also undergoing a slight change. Yeah? If you look at our current film on the Powder Finish Creme, we have an assortment of characters in the film across different demographics, across different skin tones, across different looks. But at the end of the day, we are a brightening brand and we need to stay true to that.
So the next part is a quick rapid fire of sorts, right? So the first part is Glow and Lovely. The three words that for you define the brand Glow and Lovely, or the Glow and Lovely brand in 3 words.
I think it's I am ready.
What's the kind of media mix you're playing around with? Because, and where this comes from is the way media works is changing, right? And it's changing to a very different scale at a very fast speed.
Yep.
For the brand, right, for Glow and Lovely, is media still run in a more TV plus kind of a way? Is there a mix we're looking at? What are your primary media channels? How are you looking at the mix?
So see, I think the job to be done on the brand is to still get more and more women to get into beauty, and especially safe beauty, which Glow and Lovely stands for. And to do that, we really need to reach the hinterlands. Yeah. And so for that part of the job to be done, we definitely need to be a TV first brand. At the same time, we need to be more contemporary, more modern. We need to be speaking the language of the new urban consumer. And for that, we need to have a digital play as well. So I think depending on where the consumer moves, we'll have to move with them.
So, last is, if not Glow and Lovely, what would the brand be named?
So I wasn't a part of the team at that time when this transition was happening, but I've seen some of the research which went on, and I can promise you that everything that we could think of, we've tried and tested. I'll share two names which we tried and then let go of. One was Bright and Lovely, and the other was Even and Lovely. And consumers preferred Glow and Lovely, so that's why we went ahead with Glow and Lovely.
Thank you so much for your time, Rajat. It was really insightful. The way we talked about the journey of the product, Glow and Lovely, the way we were talking about how you have always been at the forefront, on the top of culture, and how you're evolving and being ahead of the curve. Thank you so much for your time. It was lovely having a conversation with you. It was lovely talking to you, and hope we talk a lot more again in future.
Same here. Thank you so much.
What is the philosophy that goes behind, just keeping on and on?
In this department, I'll be very old-styled. First and foremost, honesty is the best policy.
Wow.
I got a letter from then Chief Minister of Gujarat, no other than Mr. Narendra Modi, recognizing the importance of travel and tourism in India's economic, domain.
Welcome back to Kiska brand Bajega, Marketing All Stars. Today in our segment, The Next Big Thing, we'll talk about OTM, the #1 travel trade show in Asia, where trade buyers and professionals connect in person to establish long-term business relationships. So, without any further ado, let's begin. I have with me OTM's chairman and CEO, Mr. Sanjeev Agarwal. Starting from your educational background, Sanjeev, I would say that you've got all the right brand names under your belt. You graduated from St. Xavier's, then studied management at IIM Calcutta and ISB Hyderabad. Can you share with us what inspired you to create OTM, and if at all, how your educational background and experiences at institutions like IIM and ISB influenced your journey into the world of travel and tourism?
Before starting Fairfest, I did work in some of the big companies for maybe about 3 or 4 years, So I think that gives you the right foundation.
Yeah.
Because if you have the right education and have worked in a corporate environment, that sets your DNA right, in my opinion.
Talking about OTM itself, right? How would you see the evolution, and what would you say that OTM's impact has been on the travel and tourism industry, and especially in the Indian context?
So it started very small. It started as TTF, Travel and Tourism Fair. And the trigger was, at that time there was no internet, and it was very difficult to find information. And we thought that why not create a platform like this, a travel show, because there is a book fair, there is an auto fair, why not a travel fair, And this was in Calcutta, where Bengalis like to travel a lot. And sometimes we used to hear a story that, look, if there is a group going, the team leader goes in advance to, let's say, Kullu or Manali, see places, book the hotel for the group, come back and then go with the group.
By that group leader, you don't mean the travel agent that has booked flights and tickets for them, but actually the person from the group who's taking charge.
Yes. So, that it was very small, and then, gradually we started expanding to other cities also. And, these shows started becoming a very important platform for travel marketing. So that's how, it expanded to all major metros. In fact, we used to do it in 10 cities, and of course Mumbai became hotspot. And so all these places, it was called TTF, and in Mumbai we wanted a differentiation. So we started calling it OTM. We say, One World Travel Mart, because there are a lot of international participants coming here. And recently a survey was carried out, commissioned by us, by Ipsos, which is world's third largest market survey company, and we were voted as not only India's but Asia's leading travel trade show.
Wow. And I'm sure, having been in this entire ecosystem for so many years, there's a lot of challenges, uncertainties might have come your way, and especially in the last few years, if we go back, right, when the pandemic came, everything suddenly just stopped, and then just as things started to pick up a little bit, I think the phrase revenge travel came into the picture, where everybody was just booking flights to places, and that rush entirely happened. So when such dynamic landscape exists in the entire ecosystem, how does OTM look at it, and how do you, let's say, navigate your way through all this?
Couple of years as travel was completely shut, so OTM and our company also pretty much shut, zero revenues. In fact, there's some losses because you have people, you must pay at least something, So that was a challenge, but we always identified that, look, we have a duty to this industry also. The industry which has sort of made us not only survive but do so well economically. So we started taking interest in reopening of the industry, and we championed sort of faster reopening. And in fact we did TTF in some cities and OTM also quickly after COVID, when it was just about technically possible to do a show.
Sure.
So then after that, recently the revenge travel and things have been really very good.
And a step like this, Sanjeev, requires resilience, not just on the part of the organization, but as a leader now of the industry, right? You would have had to chart your way across these waters as well. So what is the philosophy that goes behind just keeping on, and how has your personal journey helped shape the success of OTM?
Well, in this department, I'll be very old-styled. First and foremost, honesty is the best policy. And secondly, we are in the business of serving. So this is as a media platform, below the line media platform. We say that, look, our health is only as good as the health of the industry.
Correct.
So we do a lot of discussions and ideation and put things into public domain to also shape up the public policy. In fact, one pride moment was when we were doing this TTF Ahmedabad, and then we were articulating some visions in the press, and after that I got a letter from then Chief Minister of Gujarat, no other than Mr. Narendra Modi, recognizing the importance of travel and tourism in India's economic, domain. And then it became a part of his election manifesto.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, so, we look at things as from the high level that, look, if the travel industry does well, we do well.
Sanjeev, technology has been a game changer in many industries. AR, VR has come into the picture. Nowadays, you have these 360 glasses that can take you to a place without, even moving a foot. So how do you approach these kinds of things? Do you do your own research? Do you visit, these expos where such technologies are showcased? So how do you plan all these things?
This is a very interesting question because, this is a kind of a challenge we analyzed some 20 years back when internet came and technology, that whether platforms like this are relevant, whether people need to meet, they could just e-meet and do business. But then the more technology proliferated, the more these things became successful, not only our business, but generally speaking all over the world, conferences and exhibitions became more and more successful because in your day-to-day life, you meet less and less. So you want to meet once in a while, let's say annually, and shake hands and with a big smile and warmth, And so, technology is an enabler for face-to-face meeting for us.
OTM attracts participants from across the globe. How do you see OTM's role and influence in the global travel industry, and what would you say makes it a unique platform for international collaboration?
The participants tell us that, look, this is one activity once in a year they cannot miss because it gives them the best ROI in terms of accessing the market, And not only these 50 odd countries which are coming to India to market, but also our states, 30 states which participate,
All the state tourism
all the state tourism board, and they come with their private sector, So state tourism board or countries are only carrying the flag of their destination, that, come to Kenya or come to Himachal Pradesh. But finally, in those big pavilions, people from those states are sitting who operate, tours or who are running hotels. and they tell us that, look, this is the marketing infrastructure we need, and this is the only thing we do in terms of B2B promotion.
Yeah, so now that you've already reached to a point where all these international players and international tourism boards have started coming on and joining in as partners, what would the future look like, and any exciting announcements here? So what's the plan for ahead?
Sure, looking at the recent growth and the future prospects, so and many other shows which we do, and globally this industry is very organized, and we have very big corporate players listed in London Stock Exchange and elsewhere. These are like more than $1 billion companies. So we are looking at a possibility of an IPO very soon.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then we want to access the capital markets and then scale to a new height.
Is there any advice that you would want to give any young aspiring entrepreneur that might be watching this, especially in the travel and tourism sector that you champion, right? As to what your journey can teach them, and maybe for them to also start off, they can take cues from it and get on their own path.
So I'll tell three things. One is honesty is the best policy. Second is that you look at your bottom lines while you look at your scale. Profit is important. And third is access capital markets as soon as you can, and let the early investors win.
Thank you for sharing all these insights, and see you soon. And that's a wrap for this episode of Kiska brand Bajega Marketing All Stars. Until we meet again, take care.